Hey there. Welcome, everybody, to level 80 of the Sandbox Gamers Podcast, a podcast where three vidgets meet weekly to talk about life, love, and the pursuit of vidya. Thank you so much for joining us. I am your co-host with the most, WonderRob, coming at you live or semi-live after the fact from Arizona this time. That's right. If you're watching the video version, I am in my old bedroom. Yes. Not these curtains, though. These were not part of my
I don't see any
bedroom.
Zelda stickers, so that's not his room. That's not.
Well, that's what we don't turn off the lights with a black light because it'll look like a Jackson Pollock. And here, this was my teenage room. Anyway, I'm coming to you from Arizona, and on the line with me are two of my best Arizona friends in the metaverse. The training day of our podcast, Vactor.
King Kong ain't got nothing on me.
And the equalizer of our pod, the always angry JeffW the second.
I don't know any Denzel lines from those movies.
Fantastic. You don't even know my man.
I know training. I'm saying the Equalizer movies. I don't know.
Oh, I was gonna say, all you got to do is just look up some Denzel Washington gifs.
Oh yeah, I got a good one. There's too many N-words in this one. I don't want to quote this one.
Ooh, Nintendo.
That'd be over the line.
Yeah,
Nintendo.
We don't need him saying nincompoop or anything like that on the pod. And I'm the man on fire, Rob Zell, in Arizona. So thank you, everybody. Thank you. We appreciate it. Just like always, at the top of the pod, if you're not already subscribed, hit subscribe. If you're watching this on YouTube after the fact, if you're listening to it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever, hit subscribe. And if you want to be so kind, go ahead and leave us a nice review, some nice words, and maybe, just maybe, you'll get a shout out on the show if we remember. Thank you so much. So we got a lot to talk about this week. This was actually a pretty big week for video game news, boys. So we got a lot to discuss. But one thing that we always do before we get into that is we like to remind everybody how JeffW is DTF. That stands for Down to Talk Fun. And at the top of the show notes here, it says Whataburger. It actually says Whataburger. The R is missing for some reason.
No.
He's fixing it. It just says
Whataburger.
Oh, Whataburger. Good call. So what does Whataburger mean, Vactor?
So you showed us a little cup when we first started. That means he's back in Arizona and he's having his good old Whataburger. Now, Jeff hates Whataburger, so we won't talk about Jeff.
Don't go churching it up.
Rob, I want to know what he ordered because off camera, I told Rob they got this new chili cheeseburger with Fritos, and that is my current favorite combination of food to have. So tell us that you had the chili cheeseburger, Rob. Tell us.
Well, yesterday I had the sausage taquito with the jalapeno ranch.
Oh, snap.
Now, before I get into the chili cheeseburger, I'm gonna make a controversial statement. You guys might get mad.
You don't
the
like
listeners
cheese?
might get mad. I don't like cheese. No, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna go and say, out of all the fast food only, of all the fast food, French fries, Whataburgers are the best.
Oh wow!
Better than McDonald's.
Oh.
Better than freaking I don't know, Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, who has good ones? That's actually the
See, I like there's
tough
two
part.
that I really like, and that's because they're curly. Arby's curly fries and Jack in the Box curly fries.
What about
Those are
Rally's?
my favorite. I haven't had theirs yet.
Those you haven't had those seasoned fries? You haven't had those?
I haven't had those.
Wow.
But those
What the
seasoned curlies are my
Small seasoned curlies.
Wow, he hasn't had the Rallies.
I can
And
try those.
I think the jalapeno ranch adds quite a bit to it. Also, because I think the jalapeno ranch is the best dipping sauce, fast food dipping sauce there is. Period.
You know, we
Yeah, I
just
said it.
had that conversation at work about the best. We were talking about chicken dipping sauces, but you can expand it to any dipping sauce. and everybody had their favorites. We were just talking about the new McDonald's. They got 2 new dipping sauces, Mambo and sweet and spicy, which the Mambo, I think, is also sweet and spicy. So I was wondering the difference in the 2 sauces. But the sweet and spicy, the other one is a jam. So it's not like a sauce.
Oh.
It's like a jelly. So I dipped my nugget in it, and this was the jam was like this.
It was like a solid surface.
Yeah. So
So
anyways, my answer to that was a long story to tell you. My favorite dipping sauce is Popeye's Mardi Gras mustard. That is my favorite.
Oh my God.
And it's got one of
Popeye's
those
Mardi Gras
ingredients. You know it if you had it, because it's one of those ones that it opens your nose as soon as you eat it. It's like wasabi. It's
Yeah.
like, woo! So whenever I got a clogged up nose, I just eat some Mardi Gras mustard. That's my favorite.
What are you doing? I'm Postmates Mardi Gras mustard. I just got a cold. Trust me, babe. It's gonna work.
Oh man,
What about you, Jeff? Yeah, Jeff. Since we're talking about dips,
man.
Have
Yeah,
you ever thought about that?
I'm trying to. Yeah, if I had to go off the top of my head, I mean, here's the problem: is I don't. I'm gonna say this, and it's probably gonna get groans, but like for me, it's
like
probably.
sauce?
It's probably sweet and sour sauce from McDonald's, and I say that meaning, and I say that I know it's not good.
I had that last night.
Not anything like, but here's the thing: there's nothing else quite like it, and I know it's like concocted in a laboratory. There's no soul behind it.
I got news for you. All sauces are concocted.
yeah, but I feel like there's a little bit of like
You told me you done found the sweet and sour tree. You tell me you ain't ever
if you
had
go,
that in your backyard.
If you go to like H Mart and you get like a sweet and sour sauce, it's not gonna be what McDonald's is serving. It's not quite that. You know what I mean? So whatever that is might be my favorite one, because that's always, even like, since I was a kid, that is my number one go-to, especially nugget sauce. But if I had to like I mean, for me it'd be Cane's. I will make the Cane's sauce
Cane's
and
sauce?
put that on stuff. That is a solid sauce. And I know it's funny because I know people that don't like mayo, but like you can make that and it's mostly mayo, and they'll eat it. I really am a big proponent of the cane sauce myself.
In that work conversation, it was either my buddy said that his wife liked the cane sauce with Chick-fil-A or the Chick-fil-A sauce with Cane's. I can't remember which one it was, but he said she brings it with her everywhere she goes. So whatever one it was, it's one of those sauces.
And Cane's is like the thing where I'll dip everything I get. I'll dip in that, the fries, the bread. So I get the extra sauce.
Yeah, you can actually substitute one of the coleslaw, the bread. You can take one of those out and put an extra sauce in there.
Yeah.
Little pro tip.
Yeah.
Health tip.
Yeah, you always take the coleslaw out, because who the fuck is eating coleslaw?
I don't like coleslaw.
What are we doing? Fuck out of here. Homeless people would turn that shit down. You know what I mean?
He ain't lying. He ain't lying. Nobody in the right mind. I agree with Jeff. Good call.
So did you eat the chili cheeseburger?
Oh yeah, I forgot. I forgot that's what we were talking about initially. I was ready to move on to the next subject. So you got that chili cheeseburger. Let me tell you, that is a sloppy burger.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That burger is a little bit sloppy, but it's pretty good. You know what it reminds me of is this is a super specific thing, and I don't think Jeff's going to be able to relate to it. The chili cone queso in Cars Land. They have this waffle cone that's full of chili and full of Fritos and cheese, and you scoop it out with a spoon. That's basically what it is without the hamburger part. So it's very tasty. Whataburger is an underrated fast food chain, I think.
I used to really hate Whataburger. I have come around.
The
patty melt is probably their best thing to me. Here's my problem with Whataburger. If you go there and just get the plain burger, get the normal burger, it's dog shit. That's my only problem. So you have to
Wow.
go like you can't go to a 1, right? Like if you go to like McDonald's or Wendy's or whoever, like you get the number 1, let's say. You go there, let me just get a burger. You're gonna get like a pretty good experience. Whataburger, I feel like, is so wildly like they don't even put cheese on the fucking thing. They're like, you know what I mean? Like you gotta go a little bit deeper to find Whataburger. And fuck Texas. So I will say that Whataburger is still kind of trash, but I have come around. I will go there. Maybe I'll go there today just to prove a point.
To all our Texas listeners,
which is that
Jeff was saying that he F's in Texas. That's what he was saying. He wasn't saying F the state.
That's our Jeff.
But
That's our Jeff.
This is breaking news because I was under the impression that Jeff hated Whataburger. That's what he had told me. So this is all brand new to me.
I grow as a person. I'm not afraid to admit when I was wrong previously.
It takes a big man. It takes a big man. We call that the anti-shoff. It takes a big man. Yes. Good job. All right. Speaking of anti-shoff, I've got another question here for you guys. Now, this was something I asked you guys on the Discord, and Trent said, no. Yes, exactly. Jeff's got a spear. And Trent said we should discuss this on the pod. And so I'm going to ask you guys again. I was at home. I was jacking on some sour cream and onion potato chips. And I had the notion, are these the best potato chips flavor there is? Exactly. Mario gets it. Is sour cream and onion the best potato chip flavor? Now, not corn chip, not Doritos, nothing like that. I'm talking just potato chips. Is sour cream and onion the best potato chip flavor? Because I argue it is. But I want your boys' thoughts on this.
I'd say it's a good like you can ask for that chip and it's pretty good across the board, like from across brands and stuff. Let's say
even like you get those kettle chips, like those weird ones that you find at like Jimmy John's, but they're usually pretty good.
I was about to say, Rob, my favorite ones are the jalapeno chips from Jimmy John's. So I'm in the weird category.
Got him.
Oh yeah, I get those free from work. I didn't know Jeff liked those.
Oh, jalapeno chip. That is actually like a lunch staple for me. Is Jimmy John's. You can kind of go any Jimmy John's sandwich. I like the bread mostly, so any sandwich there is kind of good to me. Like let's say like a I don't know, an Italian or a BLT from Jimmy John's, a cherry Coke, and jalapeno chips. That's my go-to right there. But I mean, sour cream is pretty good. But I mean, I think jalapeno. Like, if I get chips, if it's not like, I'll get like Cheez-Its maybe before I get like potato chips. But
we've even seen potato
chips.
The Cheez-Its have made an appearance on the podcast before.
Jalapeno. Oh yeah, there's actually none up there right now. I haven't been to the store yet today, so maybe I'll restock.
Cheez-Its are a little too plain for me. I got to have something on top of it. Like there has to be an extra flavor on top of the cheese for me.
That's why you get the cheddar jack. Come on, what are we doing?
That's the same reason why I don't like something that's just chocolate. I like to have chocolate plus peanut butter, chocolate plus Oreo cream. Like I like to have two flavors together. But as far as chips go, I did like sour cream and onion for a long time when I was growing up, but then salt and vinegar took over, and that was my favorite flavor for a while. My dad introduced me to two tastes that I had never tasted together before, and it was heaven.
You know what? My little boy Link, his favorite potato chips are the salt and vinegar, and he always says to me, "Dad, can I have the spicy chips?" He calls them spicy chips. These are spicy.
That's my boy.
Spices.
But I think I've wrapped around, because normally now, like Jeff said, the lunchtime selection, although for me, I just get whatever's free at work because we have free snacks at work. So now,
surprise.
99% of the time, I just eat Doritos. I just eat the nacho cheese Doritos, which back in the day when I was a kid were my favorite of all time. So I've kind of come full circle on the chips. So that I would say right now in 2023, the nacho cheese Doritos are my favorite.
Okay, but we were talking about potato chips, but the nacho cheese is very good. It's a very, very good. Although Cool Ranch, I don't know.
I like every now and then I like to switch it up.
All right. So the debate has been settled. We all agree that the sour cream and onion. I wasn't listening to anything you guys said.
Yes.
All right. Excellent. We'll have to do a taste test. Well, like eventually, Sandbox Gamers is going to shift very slowly into food tasting, just like Good Mythical Morning did.
Oh yeah,
where it used to be two dudes, and now it's just Rhett and Link eat things. That's going to be us.
Sounds great.
I'm into it. All right. So excellent choice. If you, the listener, have any questions for us that you want us to answer, by all means, just find us on social media. We're on TikTok. We're on Instagram. We're on YouTube, Facebook, all the places. Leave a comment somewhere and we'll answer it. We actually have a stack of unanswered listeners' questions right now, but we'll get to those in upcoming episodes. But now it's time to talk about the video game news in our strategy guide section. So I'm gonna let Timmy Tommy. I forgot Tommy's name just now. Don't tell Tommy. Okay. Trent, what's been going on in video game news?
Oh yeah. Well, first of all, it's not surprising that you forgot Tommy's name because he's been AWOL. He's been MIA.
It's true.
Lately.
He used to be our number one fan, but now Pedro. We've got a listener named Pedro. Shout out to Pedro.
I actually met Tommy a couple days ago.
Oh yeah, that's right.
What? He's stalking us?
Yeah, you're right.
He was outside your house.
He found me in my car.
Yeah, he recognized Jeff, and he tapped on the window, and he looked like Putty with the devil makeup on. From Seinfeld.
Let's go, Devils. The Devils.
So that's what he looked like.
And Jeff was like, Diablo.
So that was a good time. Speaking of a good time, Grand Theft Auto 6 will reportedly be officially announced this week, boys, followed by a trailer in the next month.
Yes.
So that means we get the game in 2028.
Jeff, don't jinx it. Jeff, don't jinx it.
I'm just saying. I think we talked about this before. The first GTA 5 trailer took 2 years after that first trailer to hit the shelves, as they say.
So they made their announcement, sort of, by saying, "Yeah, we're going to show you a trailer in a month." So we know it's coming, but we don't know anything.
Give it to us now.
Now, you guys got a good look at all those leaks that came out a while back, I'm sure, right?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't it look like the next coming of Jesus, but for video games?
That water does. That water effect looks real good. But yeah, I still think we're quite a bit of ways away. And because I was looking at this before we started, they release the trailers for these games usually around the end of the year, November, December, for their past few games, and then it takes quite some time to come out. But I'm hoping it's a little further along. I'm hoping maybe within a year, maybe we get the game. Who knows? But yeah, I'm expecting from the leaks to see a Vice City sort of centric game. I mean, obviously, I would expect the map to be quite a bit larger than GTA 5's.
Right.
But I also would expect. So I'm assuming we're gonna have kind of multiple areas. But I think the crux of the map, the main city in the map, is going to be a Miami type Vice City, water, bridge filled kind of area. is what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping we have some. I'm actually just interested to see the characters that they've come up with for this time too, because even in the leaks, I don't think there was major story plots revealed. I don't recall in the leaks, or at least maybe that's how I was looking at it, as I was just looking at gameplay because that's all I wanted to see for the time being. So I'm interested to see what the story is for this one, or what characters we have coming our way.
It's supposed to be like a Bonnie and Clyde situation, as far as I'm aware, is that there's two characters, a guy and a girl. But that's really all we know. Trent, what's the last Grand Theft Auto game you played? Did you play 5?
Yes. When did the online one come out?
Around the same time 5 did.
2014? Did they put it out a year later for GTA?
That was
5?
the last time I played. Was when the online.
You played Grand Theft Auto Online. Now, did you beat Grand Theft Auto 5, Trent?
No.
Did you?
Man,
you were like, this is too open world. This is too much.
All the Grand Theft Autos. That was. I think that was before I started to do my strategy of just going for no side quests. When the Grand Theft Autos were coming out, that was when I started to get my aversion to open world games. But Red Dead Redemption brought in my strategy of only do the main quest and no side quests. And so I should probably go back and play Grand Theft Auto doing that strategy.
Yeah, I don't think that game is too terribly long if you're going through pretty quick and keeping your kind of story focused. I'm sure there's some side stuff you'll need to do for like money and stuff in there, but if you go through it, pretty straightforward. You could probably beat that game in not that many hours.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
It says GTA 5 is a fairly long game, but the campaign can take up to 31 hours. You got 31 hours, Trent? How many hours do you think it took you to beat Spider-Man 2?
Spider-Man was about 20.
20? So 10. What's 11 more hours? Come on, Trent.
As long as there's nothing else to play.
Ignore the wife, ignore the kid, play that GTA 5 from 10 years ago.
Yeah, doesn't she know this is your second job that you don't get paid for?
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, will it play on my PC, Jeff? Because I had some troubles with Alan Wake.
No, you can play. I was playing GTA 5 on that PC when it first came out.
So I should have access, boys.
Yeah.
Hey, you're going to have to update that. No, you got the PS5. I was going to say you're going to have to update that PC to play Grand Theft Auto 6.
Yeah, you could mod GTA 5 and have like you won't die. You know what I mean? That would cut down on like most of your hours, I think, if you just don't die. You don't have to go search for stuff, Like
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
All right.
So we just have a new goal that we have to stay alive until Grand Theft Auto 6 or Avengers Secret Wars, whichever comes out first.
2020.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's another 3 years though before this game. Because remember when Red Dead Redemption 2 was first announced, they were like November next year, and then it was November the following year when it came out. They're like, it's got to be perfect. It's got to be perfect. You don't want a buggy game, do you? Meanwhile, they've been working on Grand Theft Auto 6 for the last 10 years. You don't think it's done by now? What I hope it is that they say, here's the announcement trailer. It's coming out in 6 months. Everybody get ready.
Yeah, that would
be... something tells me that's not what's going to happen.
I feel like we're at least another year out. Like, that wouldn't surprise me. If anything earlier than a year.
Nothing to play. What am I supposed to play until then, Jeff?
Yeah.
City Skylines?
And the DLC for it?
Too.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, I'll beat that in a day. I'm practically done with that game. All right. I guess I can go back to Jedi Fallen Order.
Oh,
yeah. Or Jedi Survivor. Whichever the second one is. Actually,
Fallen Order.
A good backlog of games. And I didn't tell the audience this. I got a birthday present from Vactor. It might be Alan Wake. It might be RoboCop. I don't know which one it is. But I do got a new game to play when I'm done with Spidey. So we'll see what's going on with that.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll all play Grand Theft Auto. Now, are you going to commit to playing Grand Theft Auto 6 Vactor? Are you going to play it? Are you going to play it campaign only?
Yeah, I'll do that. No side quest. Yeah.
All right. You heard it here, folks. He promised.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that? Your side quest thing, Vactor? Vactor, your Spider-Man 2. Remember, you thought you had a friend. We'll just call him a friend. That was like, oh, I got spoiled that such and such character is in Spider-Man 2. And you were like, he's not even in the game. This guy doesn't even know what he's talking about. Come to find out, it was a side quest that Vactor just did not do.
And
so
in the
indeed,
side
your
quest,
friend was spoiled.
Well, you had to finish the side quest because I had actually started that. I had not finished the side quest, and they don't refer to
hold
that
on.
character.
Now I gotta know.
I don't actually.
What's happening?
Did Rob beat it, or is
you
he?
can tell me about a side quest? That's fine.
Okay, you started.
If it's not the main campaign, it's fine.
Okay.
The side quest with Yuri, where she's going around tracking down that cult.
Yeah, I did the first part of that.
So you know how in the first part of that, I think it's in the first part, they reveal who the head of that cult is. Did you see that? The video of who the head of the cult is?
If I did, I don't recall off the top of my head.
Okay. And that's what I'm saying. That character is a big character, but they didn't reveal it until literally the last second of that side quest. So until literally the last second of that side quest, you don't know who it is.
Okay.
So spoilers for Spider-Man 2. If you don't want to know, skip ahead like 30 seconds. But at the very last second, Rob, he goes, there's going to be carnage.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I haven't run into that. Yeah.
So that is. But obviously his name is Cletus Cassidy, but they don't say that. They never refer to him as Cletus or anything. So I was thinking, oh, he's not in this game. But TikTok and some other places are like, Carnage is in the game. Ah!
Oh, yeah. I mean, with this game, with Spider-Man, I'm taking my sweet time with it. I'm savoring it, I'm doing the side missions. I'm stopping the street crimes. But there's definitely people who are like, let's put the ending on TikTok. Let's talk about this. So I see them come up on my TikTok. I do the fast swipe. I'm so fast.
Yeah. And that was from day one. There's people. I mean, that's with anything on TikTok and social media. Like the Marvels came out on Friday, and people I saw on YouTube, here's the ending, here's the post-credits scene on YouTube, somebody in the theater filming. So everybody's trying to post this stuff as soon as possible.
Yeah, they want them clicks, baby. They want them clicks. But to be fair, the post-credits scene is all you really need to worry about in these these Marvel movies anyway.
No.
I mean, the movie's good. Don't get me wrong. The stories are good, but you're like, well, what's happening? Because what we want is the big crossover event. That's what we all want.
Especially if they're going to reveal.
We want the breadcrumbs. Yeah. Spoiler. I haven't seen it yet, but
a blue X-Men, perhaps, is
Nightcrawler.
A blue furry X-Men, perhaps, if that is in your after credits.
Nightcrawler with no pants.
Scene. Yeah. Not that.
No, I know.
Part.
No, I already knew. I looked it up before. Certain things I don't mind being spoiled on. So that was fine.
You want to be spoiled on a new Zelda live action movie, Rob?
Absolutely.
Because guess what? It's in the works right now. It was funny because right before they announced this at work, now Pedro, shout out to Pedro, like I said, our number one fan right now, is a huge Zelda fan. Even has a Zelda tattoo across his chest. But he has been for weeks adamantly saying to us at work, they better not do a live action Zelda film. They better never do this. It should not, because Link should never have a voice. And I said, well, excuse me, Pedro. But it's all coming to fruition, Pedro. Sorry, but a live-action Zelda film is in development from Maze Runner director Wes Ball, that classic Maze Runner film that none of us have seen.
Nope. Yeah, what is that?
Maze Runner
is
about
a maze that runs.
That's like one of those what's it called? Now I'm blanking on it. The
Sounds like me after a visit from YC's.
Wow. In the maze.
Running.
It's
Local
one of those reference.
It's one of those
We
young
love a
adult
local reference.
novel books that got turned into a film franchise that nobody saw. Kind of the lesser Hunger Games, pretty much. Think about it like that. Anyways, that director is now doing the live action Zelda movie. So, what are your thoughts, boys? Because we had the live action Mario movie in 1993. Now, this is going to be the second Nintendo live action franchise film after the success of the animated Mario movie. I thought it was a foregone conclusion that we would get an animated Legend of Zelda, but this live action one is currently in the works. So, Rob, being the #1 Zelda fan, what do you think of this news?
I saw a script leak, actually. I'm going to read it right here. It says, Ganondorf, I have an army. Link, and I have a legend. The Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
And then Link turns and says, now might be a good time for you to get legending, Zelda. And then Zelda says, that's my secret, Link. I'm always legending. Yeah! And then they legend Oliver Ganon until he dies.
Jesus.
Spoiler for the end of the movie.
Yeah, perfect.
I'm actually okay with it. Hopefully it's good. Now, I think people treat Legend of Zelda like it's a religion practically. So it's I don't think I think no matter what they do, there's going to be people who aren't going to like it. They never should have cast Chris Pratt as Link. It's bad or whatever they're doing. But I feel like if Nintendo's got their hands in it, they're co-producing it with Sony, which is super interesting, by the way, that Sony is doing it. That seems like a really weird pairing. But, I digest.
Well,
anyway,
Japanese, I guess I get that perspective.
But Nintendo's going to have their hands in it. Supposedly, they've been working on the script for quite some time. So maybe that's going to be something that works out in our favor. But we know Nintendo had their hand in the Super Mario Brothers movie as well. And personally, I don't think that movie was bad. I think it was pretty good. But I know there's a lot of people out there who are like, we got to get carts. Why do they need carts? Like people who are just poo-pooing on the plot of a children's movie. These 40-year-old men crapping on this movie made for children. But I don't know. I'm just optimistic about it. Like, I'm not too upset about it yet. The only thing that sort of irritates me and bugs me is all the discourse I see about people with casting. Like Anna Joy Taylor or whatever her name is needs to be Princess Zelda and Tom Holland needs to be Link. But everybody's forgetting Link is traditionally an 8-year-old child in these games. So if they're doing an adaptation,
do they give Link an age?
Usually, he's a kid. It's not specific, but typically he's a child between like 8 and 10. Most of the time, sometimes a little older than that.
Right.
But he's the only game that he's like a full-grown adult is Ocarina of Time or like Twilight Princess, maybe Tears of the Kingdom or Breath of the Wild, depending on how you're looking at that. But he's still very young in those movies.
Yeah.
So we don't know if this is an original story or if this is going to be an adaptation of like Ocarina of Time or something like that. If they were going to adapt a game, I think Ocarina of Time would be the most interesting story to tell. But I feel like people going straight to, we need Henry Cavill as Link. Trust me on this. It's gonna be great. Bob Odenkirk is Ganon. Trust me. When we all know Will Arnett would be a great Ganon.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I was like, they're gonna get Will Arnett is what they'll do.
So I'm just in a wait and see position, but something tells me we're probably not going to see this movie for another 3 or 4 years anyway.
Yeah, I think actually speaking of casting, I should Vactor and Link. I was like, if you had a casting for Zelda herself, I would go they have the Hunter Schafer from Euphoria. the trans actor.
Mm-hmm.
Do this. She has the look. I think you could pull the look off. Also, it would make people like really mad, and it would be at least funny.
Shit a brick.
They'd be so butthurt. And I like to hear somebody, how you going to put that in the movie from my Princess Zelda?
Go broke, Nintendo.
This guy. There's no such thing as that in Hyrule. I'd like to see somebody try to logic leap through that dumb shit. But actually, this would be my choice, the one that Vactor has on screen right now, just for the fuck you attitude. And I think she's good on Euphoria. But also, I think the hardest part.
She does look like an elf.
You see what I'm saying? You know
What's
what I'm
her
saying?
name?
She got the Hunter Schafer. She's in Euphoria. She's like a big part. Well, she was a big part of Euphoria. I haven't watched Euphoria for a minute, but I think she's still in it. I don't know. I haven't. It's been a minute since I've caught up, I think. But anyway, so that would be my choice, I think, personally. But I think the hardest part.
No, I don't.
Oh, I was like, what the hell's happening? I think the hardest part is going to be the tone of the movie. Like you said, Rob, like how do you, because like yeah, like when you said it, I've been thinking about it since you said it, he does like even Breath of the Wild, like it is very much a like, oh hey, it's Link, it's this kid that showed up and he's kind of showing up to save the day, so he does have to be younger, like and I don't want
it's got to be a child or it's got to be a teenager.
Yeah, definitely. Like, and I feel like maybe you should go like. We saw it with Spider-Man.
Wolf,
we saw it with
what's his name, Finn Wolfhard or something? Not him.
Right. But of that,
somebody
age,
like him,
right?
Yeah.
In fact, if you could keep playing audio with this, it'd be perfect. It's great. Yeah, I think you have to go kind of that age. I think, and I think you might need to do like. We talk about like Tom Holland and Spider-Man and the Turtles with the recent animated movie, like. Going like younger, like truly younger though, not like, hey guys, like you said, it's Henry Cavill, he's in high school. You're
right.
Like, no, he's not.
Right.
So I think you're right. I think the tone has to be set. I guess my biggest worry is that I'm looking around for stuff. I don't see one name on this that I trust, or that I know.
Abby Arad?
I don't even know who that is. I've never heard of
telling
anything.
me you don't, the guy who made Morbius, you don't trust?
Oh, is that
Legend of Zelda movie?
Avi Arad is the executive that brought all the Spider-Man films to life. Like he's the one that got him greenlit.
Okay, so maybe he has
including Morbius.
Some just okay ones under his belt.
Yeah,
I just don't know. There's you kind of have I think there's two major issues with it. I think number one is the casting. Maybe three major issues. I think number two is the tone of the movie. Like, what are you going? Like, this should be childlike adventure to me. Like, I think you should have, like you said, Link should be a boy. Don't be going out here with this like chiseled jawed, jacked guy. Vactor's going down the list here. Vactor, if you go to the end of this list, they have an NBA player in there. I'm like, maybe if you make Zelda not talk, that'd be perfect. It would just be an NBA guy.
What is it? It looks like Patrick Ewing.
Yeah. Or Patrick Chewing in his other acting career.
Right.
Okay, that's got to be a joke.
It's Scottie Pippen.
Yeah. And then there's just nobody I've seen attached to this movie that
Josh Giddey from
you
the
just
Thunder.
Yeah. Where you just like, is there somebody that gives a fuck about Zelda that's involved in this that's also going to be, that has taste? You know what I mean? Because we know Nintendo will make some bullshit. Like, I like that Mario movie, the animated Mario movie, but I have problems with it if you're asking me to judge it from like a movie standpoint. Like, it's a little lackluster, even though I liked it. I did like the movie. Is there somebody that's going to be able to look at a script for this and be like, yeah, this is realistic, or this is, possible to make, and that would not, totally shit on everything Zelda related. So yeah, I'm much more worried about this than anything Mario related. I think, I'm like Vactor said, I'm surprised this isn't animated. Like, I'm like, yeah, I don't know. It seems like it's kind of like when they made Green Lantern, right? Like, that's a tough world to like translate to live action, even with the CG. Like, you're gonna have to like, you know, do a lot of work to make that look good, or have a very particular style of your art in that to make it not shitty. What I'm worried about here is the final thing I'll say. I just don't want this movie to be like the Green Lantern mask in the Ryan Reynolds movie. You know what I mean? Like, it's gonna be a sore thumb, let's say.
Well, if they don't say, "Excuse me, princess," then it's all shit.
Yeah.
No, they will. They put the Super Mario Brothers animated show, or the Super Mario Brothers Super Show theme in the Mario Brothers movie, so you know they're gonna put "Excuse me, princess."
Yeah. Yes. Perfect.
Yeah, they'll do something like that.
I love it. Speaking of stuff that I love, OLED screens and the Steam Deck together. Now we have an OLED version, boys, of the best portable gaming system in the world, the Steam Deck. This is actually releasing this week, November 16th. And Steam actually has, or Valve has lowered the price of the LCD Steam Deck. You can actually get it on sale right now if you're in the market. But the OLED version is coming, boys. And I wanted to get these two's opinion on it.
I probably will not be getting it. Mainly because it's a lateral move. You've got more battery life, they say. But I'm not really getting any more punch out of the machine. If this was a second generation, the Steam Deck 2, which also had an OLED, I would be a little more open to the idea of procuring one. Because I love my Steam Deck. While I primarily play PC games on my actual PC, you know, I have played several PC games on the Steam Deck, but there are some games that it has trouble with, you know, like Jedi Fallen Order or Jedi Survivor, whichever one is the new one. I get them confused. It wouldn't even boot for Trent when he tried to get it to work on his Steam Deck. So if they were giving me a beefier Steam Deck with a little more power under the engine, I would be into it. But just for the OLED, it's probably not something I'm going to buy, despite the fact I did that exact same thing with the Nintendo Switch just for Legend of Zelda. Potato. That's what
There was also more time between those, right? The Switch and the Switch OLED.
Yeah, there were several years between the two.
You had some time to like get used to owning your regular Switch. This feels so.
I think around this time last year is when I got my Steam Deck, right? I feel like Steam Deck's only been out for about a year.
Right, because me and Vactor's was not long after yours. We got that, right? It was, because I think we got yours, right? Yeah. That's what happened. So it had
took my first one. Yeah,
it had to be around a year, and that was yours availability was pretty early compared to people I knew.
February 2022 is when it came out.
Yeah, but there was like a whole rollout that was like, it was a kind of a mess in terms of just getting one, right? Like you couldn't just buy a Steam Deck. You had to go on that waiting list and all that stuff.
It says limited edition for the OLED right now.
Well, the
1 terabyte?
1 terabyte. Yeah, the 1 terabyte, which is $679. I guess it comes with some other things, because there's two different 1 terabytes.
Because there's another one. There's another one for $20 less.
Oh, this one comes with a limited edition carrying case, removable printed liner.
Hey, yo, you got that limited edition carrying case? Oh, snap.
Right.
Oh, is that the orange one? Oh, and it has these orange accents on it. You can see on the joysticks and
on the exhaust
power button
or whatever.
Yeah,
whatever you want to call it, the fan.
Yeah. So the limited edition is $30 more.
They didn't even like visually like come on, guys, like put out like a translucent, or whatever, transparent like Steam Deck. Make it a little bit cooler. I don't know.
They need to adjust the I forget the word I want to use, but they need to adjust where the thumb stick is on the right side. It needs to be lower.
You want them offset, right?
Yeah, I want offset thumbsticks.
Yeah.
Looks like the screen is smidgen bigger. The LCD, the screen is 7 inches. The OLED at 7.4, and then the battery is a little bit bigger. Instead of 2 to 8 hours, now you can get 3 to 12 hours. So it is a little bit of a improvement. But if you want to go the LCD, now that's going to be $399, $549, $649, and $679 for the OLED. So if you're in the market for a new Steam Deck, a new
You're right.
yeah, it is Steam Deck.
Yeah, it's called the Steam Deck.
A new Steam Deck, you can get an OLED version now. So
see, he didn't say this, but Trent's getting confused because he got the Asus. Also,
well, that's not. The reason is I got 900 tabs I'm trying to manage here so we can have some visuals. That's the reason.
Oh boy, you do a great job, Trent. Yeah. Nobody's complaining.
So Sega announced plans for a super game by March of 2026.
Let's go, boys!
A succession of old IPs being revived. Now,
what kind of Sonic the Hedgehog game is this going to be?
Ooh-wee. Don't sell short the list of IPs for Sega, Rob. Have you ever played Virtua Fighter?
Yes.
Have you ever played?
I don't think Jeff has.
We played Virtua
Have you ever
Fighter.
played?
Come on.
Football Manager, Rob?
Obviously.
You know, here's the thing for me too. There's things like on this list, like, and I mean, this is probably just me, but like I associate like Mortal Kombat with Sega a little bit too, because that was what I was playing it on. Like that was what my cousins had. I think they had everything at some point. But yeah. I was gonna say that was like the one that was a little bit better, I think, right? Like, but it's not a Sega property, so like when Sega does, like, remember they put out the classic, or what's that? What do they call those little consoles that are like
those little? Yeah, it's a classic console,
little box things or whatever.
Mm-hmm. They had a Genesis. Yep.
They did that, and I was like, man, I was just disappointed by the list because I'm like,
they put out two actually. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, did they?
With different games.
But I'm always disappointed by their list of games for whatever reason. Like it's never quite like
you're like, all right, Sonic, great, Altered Beasts, great. What's the rest of this?
yeah, and then you're just like, generic football game 92. Fantastic. Like, not a huge fan of it personally.
So they put out an 81-page document all about the future of Sega and their super game that's coming out. What's the super game? What is it? I don't know.
They don't want to announce it. They don't want to be one of those studios that announces a game 4 years ahead of time.
Is it just? I mean, I feel like it's just a collection, right? If that's what we're...
It's the super game, and then a succession of old IPs will be revived. So my understanding of this is that it's two separate things.
Yeah, they've got a super game, and then they're also reviving Altered Beasts or whatever other IP you can think of that is a Sega.
So we think this is a new IP from Sega?
Or maybe it's an old IP that they're just making a sweet game out of.
Yeah.
Not another open world Sonic.
Yeah, I would like to see Sega do a Capcom and kind of make a big comeback. Not that Capcom was ever like fully down, but also they had their bad years. But I would like to see them, make a couple things here, fuckers. I don't know what am I supposed to say to you? I mean, I don't know. I just they have to have something, right? Crazy Taxi?
It wouldn't be a Sandbox Gamers episode without Jeff calling Sega fuckers.
Yeah, make something, you fucking dickhead.
This is the quote by the Sega employee. We're also making steady headway in development of the super game that we are seeking to create in the medium to long term. As the name implies,
a super game. You are Asian. Just let everybody know this.
Yeah, Trent is a quarter Japanese.
That was not me.
So he is allowed to do this.
He is so smart. As the name implies, a super game involves the concept of a game that stands head and shoulders above normal games. That's all he said.
Yeah.
So it's a super game he's talking about. But
excellent.
We're going to have to wait a few more years, boys. But we are not going to have to wait 20 years to discover this game like the Daredevil game that was on PlayStation 2 that got canceled Now it's playable 20 years later, Rob. What do you think about this?
Let's go. Let me play this blocky mess. I'm ready. Yeah, I'm ready to play this.
Right.
I feel like a Daredevil game would be sweet, but this game can't be looking that great. Yeah, I don't really know what to expect.
Look at this.
Out of this. Let's
PlayStation
see
2,
this.
baby. That's Alex Malev graphics right there. Woo!
All right, let's see the
Check it
gameplay.
out.
Yeah. So, yeah, it looks pretty much how you'd expect it to look. But it
Look
could
at
be
that.
all
Traversed
right.
that building pretty decently there. You see that? He just kick jumped. Is
Bullseye.
that a Power Ranger? What
Bullseye
was
was in it. He's fighting the putties. Yeah.
Man,
People
this
in
game would have
suits
been
coming
great
after Daredevil
20
for some
years
reason.
ago. Fighting Elektra right there. Kingpin.
Kingpin smashing. It looks a lot like the Spider-Man game
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
from that
And
era.
you got the radar sense. Yeah, and that's like the Arkham, like the detective vision. But this would have been great, boys. Like
Back in the day, yeah.
Yeah, if this is a 2004 prototype of The Man Without Fear, this is a game that I would be playing today. Come on, put it out in 2023, baby.
Well, supposedly you're getting some Daredevil DLC in Spider-Man 2.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see, boy.
Oh, I think that's almost confirmed. Even the creator, winked on that one the other day.
But
So we'll see.
Interesting.
This group, Hidden Palace, managed to release a playable version of Daredevil, The Man Without Fear, on October 31st via member Casually Noted, who apparently obtained the build from an anonymous developer. So what are they sitting on, boys, that we don't know about?
Where do we get it?
Yeah. So you can get it on the internet and put it in an emulator. But I also want to say, I'm just happy that this exists, right? Like, people spent their time making this, and it's this thing that never came out, but somehow it is still available to play in some universe somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, you could still
a little evanescence in the soundtrack.
Yes. Yeah, this definitely is a 2004
Little
fucking
Michael Clark Duncan as Kingpin.
Yeah. Man, this looks great.
Soundtrack, yeah.
This looks fantastic. This is a game that I would have loved. And this would have been one of my favorite games of all time, saying it right now. If it had been released in 2004, I bet you I would have loved this game.
Yeah, we got to see if we can figure out how to play it. Let's make some Let's Plays. Put them up on the old YouTube
Jeff will
page.
do it.
All right,
Jeff.
Get on it.
I'll try to find
Get to work, Jeff. Snap.
But just so everybody knows, there are several bugs and game-breaking glitches since it is
never mind, Jeff.
unfinished.
Never mind, Jeff.
But
Good
it
luck.
is kind of disappointing that it just never saw the light of day. As we're seeing now, the almost resurgence of superhero games with the Spider-Man series, and then we've got the Wolverine game coming up. A Daredevil game would have been fantastic. So I'm interested to see how that would have played out.
Looks good to me in an alternate reality. But I think that does it for the video game news, and I think that's gonna about do it for this week's episode. But we always have to check in on Zelda Gate 2023. JeffW, he did promise that he was going to beat Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom by Labor Day. Little did we know that he meant Labor Day 2024, but maybe, just maybe, we got that sweet, sweet victory from Jeff, since we didn't have any games to play this week. We've just been playing the old game. So, Jeff, did you beat Tears of the Kingdom this week?
He's gone. He left us.
All right.
My mic is glitching. What was my headset's glitching?
He
too.
tried to pull the fast food prank, boy. He tried to do it to us on the podcast.
I guess we'll have to just check in with Jeff next week to see if next week is the week that he finally beat Tears of the Kingdom.
Sorry, you're breaking up. I can't hear
you. Now, everybody, did you know that Vactor has a YouTube channel called the Vactorverse, where they're talking everything and anything comic book related and more? Vactor, tell them about it.
Well, this week we're talking all about Invincible. I got my Omni-Man shirt here, boys. Look, it's upside down.
Ooh.
Omni-Man. I got to tell you, boys, Invincible is my favorite show on television right now. So we're talking all about the Amazon Prime Video show Invincible. You got to check it out. We're also talking Loki with the finale. This last week was a fantastic week for the Vactor verse because we're talking Loki, we're talking Invincible, and the Marvels. So a ton of comic book content coming your way on the Vactorverse this week. YouTube.com/Vactor. All of those things are going to be shoved right down your pie hole.
Just like we like it. Yeah. So check out the Vactorverse. He's everywhere, especially on YouTube, but he's also on TikTok, Instagram, all the usual places. So be sure to check him out. Also, we're on all the usual places. What's going on, boys? I was looking at the show notes, so I didn't see the cameras. What happened?
You gotta watch the replay.
I'm gonna have to go over this when I'm making the shorts. Speaking of shorts, you can find us, the Sandbox Gamers, on TikTok at WonderRob. That's my handle, WonderRob. Or just search the Sandbox Gamers on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook. You'll find us for all our sweet content. We'll be back at you next week with more video game talks. I forgot to say you can find the link tree in the show notes. But last but not least, I can't leave a podcast without saying this. GG, everybody. GG.
GG.